All right. So today we are going to take a deep dive into some of the really exciting stuff happening over at OpenAI with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
They just recently dropped a new video
Yeah, they did.
packed full of updates, and I think this is going to like fundamentally change the way that we all search for information online.
I think so too.
So think about it like this.
Right.
What if search engines didn't just fetch you like a bunch of links,
Right.
but instead it like understood what you're actually looking for and could almost have a conversation with you about it?
Yeah, it's a huge shift from, the traditional keyword-based search that we're all used
Yeah.
to like typing in, specific words and hoping for the best,
Right.
moving more towards a conversational model
Yeah.
where you can just kind of talk to it naturally.
Yeah, and one of the things that like immediately jumped out to me when I was watching this video was the fact that ChatGPT is no longer limited to the knowledge that it had up to a certain point.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it can now access real-time information directly from the web. So it's not just like regurgitating stuff that it's already learned.
Right.
It can actually pull in up-to-the-minute information, which is amazing.
Yeah, and I think it's really fascinating to see how this real-time integration can affect the way we interact with information on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like imagine you need to know the current weather in Zurich
Right.
because you have a flight in a few hours.
Yeah.
ChatGPT can give you that up-to-the-minute information right then and there.
Yeah, that is so useful for like last-minute travel planning. Or just
Absolutely.
like checking on things that are happening right now. It's not just limited to weather. They also showed how you could use it to find events that are happening like right this second.
Yeah, that's right.
Like what's going on in San Francisco this weekend.
Exactly.
And I think that's where it becomes really powerful.
Totally.
Because it's not just giving you like static information.
Right.
It's giving you like contextually relevant information that's happening right now.
Totally.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, and that plays into the conversational aspect.
Exactly.
Because now you're no longer just typing in keywords. You're having a back and forth dialogue with the AI to refine your search and get exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Like imagine texting a friend
Yeah.
who has access to all the world's information. You ask questions.
Right.
You get follow-up responses.
Right.
You can even like change topics on the fly.
Yeah, I loved how they showed this in the video with the San Francisco weekend planning scenario.
Yeah, it's a great example.
So like they started with a simple search, like good events in San Francisco this weekend.
Right.
But then instead of just getting a list of links like you would with a traditional search engine,
Yeah.
ChatGPT actually presented visual results right there in the chat.
Yeah, like pictures of the events.
Yeah.
Like key details about them.
Yeah, it felt like a much richer experience than just looking at a bunch of blue links.
Right.
And then the really cool part was how you could refine your search naturally, just like you would in a conversation. So they said something like, okay, it's been rainy. What about a movie instead?
And the key here is that contextual understanding,
Right,
it remembers what you asked previously.
right,
So you don't have to keep repeating yourself. Like,
Right.
okay, we're talking about the weekend, we're talking about events.
right,
Now we're switching to movies.
right.
It keeps track of that.
Yeah, and they even showed how you could search for a specific movie trailer, like The Lion King,
Right.
and it would actually play it right there in the chat.
Which is amazing.
It was wild.
Yeah.
So it feels like you're really interacting with something that understands you,
Totally.
not just matching keywords, which is a huge difference.
A huge difference.
And apparently, people loved this new search functionality so much that they wanted to make it their default search engine.
It's that good.
Yeah, like imagine having that conversational power for every online interaction.
Right. Like anytime you go to your browser,
Yeah.
you can just have that chat experience.
So they showed how you could just type something like directions to,
Right.
or like Netflix right into the browser bar, and ChatGPT would take over and use its AI smarts to get you where you need to go.
Right. It understands what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and it's not limited to just like simple searches either.
Yeah.
They gave an example of searching for hotel booking websites.
Right.
And it gave both like relevant answers and quick links to popular sites.
So it can handle those broader queries as well,
Yeah.
not just the super specific one.
It seems like it can handle like a wide range of queries, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's very versatile.
So we've talked about the desktop experience, but they also made some really impressive improvements to the mobile search experience.
Oh, yeah. The mobile experience is becoming so central
Yeah.
to how we interact with information these days.
So they used another example that I thought was really cool.
Okay.
Imagine you're craving Mexican food
Okay. Yeah.
in San Francisco's Mission District.
Love it.
So you pull out your phone and you type in like good Mexican restaurants in the mission. Now, instead of just getting a list of names like you would with the traditional search engine,
Right.
ChatGPT gives you these visually rich results.
Yeah. Pictures of the food,
Yeah.
details about each restaurant.
Yeah, even like whether they have outdoor seating,
Mm-hmm.
which is really helpful when you're trying to decide where to go.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, you can use that conversational power to narrow down your search even further.
Yeah.
So you could say something like, what about some with outdoor patios and heaters?
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, San Francisco nights can get a little chilly.
Right.
And this is where that contextual understanding comes in again.
Yes, because it remembers your previous request.
Right.
So when you mention heaters, it knows you're referring to restaurants with outdoor seating,
Right.
and it refines the results accordingly.
Yeah. They even highlighted in the video the restaurants that specifically mention having heaters in their online descriptions.
It's like it's reading your mind.
Yeah, it's almost like having a personal concierge in your pocket, anticipating your needs,
Absolutely.
providing tailored recommendations.
It's that personalization that really sets this apart from traditional search.
And it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
Just when you think it can't get any more advanced,
Right.
they drop this bombshell.
Oh, okay.
Search integrated with ChatGPT's advanced voice mode.
Wow.
This is like next level.
This opens up so many possibilities.
Right.
Especially for people who, maybe have difficulty typing or interacting with a touch screen.
Right.
This makes it so much more accessible.
So they gave this mind-blowing demo
Okay.
of planning a trip to Switzerland using just your voice.
Wow.
Imagine being able to say something like, what's happening in Zurich the week of December 23rd?
Okay.
And it responds with like a detailed list of events and dates, all hands-free.
It's incredible.
I know, and you can ask follow-up questions.
Right.
You can clarify details. You can even like switch topics seamlessly.
Just like talking to a human travel agent,
Yeah.
but with access to way more information.
Yeah, so they showed how you could go from asking about events in Zurich
Right.
to like inquiring about family-friendly activities in New York
Yeah.
without missing a beat.
And it just adapts
Yeah.
to those different requests.
And then just to like really showcase the breadth of ChatGPT's capabilities,
Okay.
they threw in this fun little example at the end.
Okay.
They asked it to teach them how to say Merry Christmas in different languages.
Oh, that's fun.
And it just like rattled off greetings in German, like
Yeah.
French, Italian, like all these different languages
Amazing.
without any hesitation.
Yeah. It really highlights just how much knowledge this system has.
Yeah, it's like those little moments that make you realize just how much potential this technology has.
Totally.
And I think that's what's so exciting about this update.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding websites or getting quick answers anymore.
Right.
It's about this whole new way of interacting with information.
It's about a conversation
Yeah.
with the information.
A dynamic conversational experience that feels almost human.
Yeah. It understands you. It adapts to you.
Right.
It's user-friendly.
Yeah, this is a major leap forward.
Absolutely.
And it makes you think, like, what does this mean for the future of how we interact with information?
Yeah, like, how is this going to change things?
Yeah, because this isn't just about finding websites anymore.
Right.
This is about how conversational search is going to impact our lives on a much deeper level.
Totally.
So I think there's a lot to unpack here,
Yeah.
and we're just scratching the surface.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned
Yeah.
as we delve deeper into these fascinating topics and really explore the implications of this new era of conversational search.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Let's do it. I think one of the biggest questions that this raises is like, what does this mean for our critical thinking skills?
Yeah.
Like, are we going to become too reliant on AI to do the thinking for us? Or will this actually like empower us to like explore new avenues of knowledge?
Right, because on the one hand, like if we have access to this incredibly intelligent AI that can sift through like mountains of data
Right.
and provide us with tailored answers, does that mean we're going to be less inclined to do the hard work ourselves?
Yeah, it's a valid concern.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine students being able to just ask clarifying questions about complex topics
Yeah.
in a way that just feels natural and engaging.
Yeah.
Like, no more struggling with textbooks.
Right.
Or like researchers being able to quickly synthesize information from like huge databases.
Right, and uncovering connections and insights that they might have missed.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was like having a personal tutor or a
Uh-huh.
research assistant
Mhm.
available like 24/7.
Yeah.
But then there's that flip side.
Right.
What if we start to just accept information at face value
Mm-hmm.
without questioning its source or its validity?
Absolutely. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
Like, we still need to be active participants in the learning process, right? We need to be evaluating the information, considering different perspectives,
Yeah.
forming our own conclusions.
So it's not about like outsourcing our thinking.
Right.
It's about using these tools to like enhance our ability to learn and understand
Exactly.
and engage with the world around us.
And the exciting thing is we're just at the beginning of this,
Yeah.
right? It's like AI is going to continue to evolve.
Yeah.
So the possibilities are just going to get even more crazy.
Yeah. And like, who knows what that means for like the internet itself?
Yeah.
Right now, like websites are designed around keywords
Right.
and search engine optimization. But like, what happens when we shift to a more conversational model?
I mean, it could totally change how websites are structured.
Yeah.
Like instead of catering to search engine algorithms,
Right.
websites might need to become more like conversational interfaces themselves.
Yeah.
Like able to understand and respond to like complex questions.
So instead of clicking through menus and links,
Right.
we might be able to just like have a dialogue with website, ask questions, get recommendations.
It's a whole new way of interacting.
Yeah. And I think this has huge implications for accessibility as well.
Absolutely.
Like imagine individuals with disabilities being able to interact with websites just using natural language.
Right. Breaking down those
Yeah.
barriers
Yeah.
that have existed for so long.
It could make the internet like a much more inclusive and equitable space.
Totally.
But I'm also curious about the impact on like content creation.
Yeah.
Like if SEO becomes less relevant,
Right.
how do creators get their work discovered?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think the focus might shift more towards like quality and depth and authenticity,
Yeah.
like crafting content that really resonates with an audience.
Yeah, it's almost like a return to like the core principles of storytelling.
Right.
Like instead of chasing algorithms, you're
Mhm.
focused on connecting with your audience.
On a deeper level,
Yeah.
building relationships.
It's fascinating to think about all the possibilities. But I want to bring it back to like OpenAI's latest update with ChatGPT for a second.
Okay.
Because it's not just about like introducing these groundbreaking features.
Right.
They've also been like very transparent about their commitment to user feedback
Absolutely.
and like responsible development.
Which is huge.
Yeah, it's encouraging to see them actively listening to their community, iterating based on like real world usage and acknowledging the potential challenges.
Yeah. They seem to understand that with great power comes great responsibility.
Right, and they're taking steps to try to mitigate those risks while also like maximizing the potential benefits.
And a refreshing approach.
Yeah.
Especially in a field that's moving so quickly.
So like where do we go from here?
Right.
What are your final thoughts on this new era of conversational search and its implications for the future?
I think the future is not something that just happens to us.
Right?
It's something we create.
Yeah.
And by like engaging in these conversations, asking these critical questions, demanding responsible development, we can help shape the future of technology in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
This deep dive has certainly given us a lot to think about.
Yeah, a lot to process.
But before we wrap things up,
Yep.
I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. It really feels like we're like on the edge of like a whole new internet, where
Yeah.
it's all about like this back and forth.
Right.
You mentioned websites becoming more like these conversational interfaces. What could that actually look like in practice?
Well, imagine like you're on a cooking website
Okay.
and you're looking for a specific recipe.
Right.
But instead of like having to click through all these different menus and filters,
Right.
you can just like ask the website directly, like, hey, show me some gluten-free recipes that use like pumpkin and cranberries.
So the website itself becomes like a search engine in a way, like
Yeah.
it understands your needs and just presents the relevant content.
Exactly. And we might even see websites start to incorporate like chatbots or AI assistants that can guide you through the content, answer your questions, offer personalized recommendations.
It's like having a knowledgeable friend right there with you,
Right.
helping you find what you need.
Walking you through it.
Yeah, that sounds super convenient, but I wonder how that would change like how websites are designed.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Would we still need things like navigation menus
Right.
if we can just talk to the website directly?
It's hard to say for sure, but we might see a shift towards like more minimalist designs
Yeah.
that really prioritize like clear communication and intuitive interaction.
Yeah.
Websites might become more focused on like presenting content in a conversational format,
Yeah.
almost like a dialogue between the user and the site.
So it's like you're having a conversation with the information,
Exactly.
not just passively consuming it.
Right.
But I'm also curious about how this could impact like the internet on a broader level.
Right.
Could this lead to a more like equitable and accessible online experience.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think one of the most exciting aspects of this is the potential for greater inclusivity.
Yeah.
Like, imagine individuals with disabilities being able to interact with websites and online services
Right.
using natural language
Yeah.
without needing those, like, complex interfaces or specialized technologies.
So instead of like keyboards and mice, people could just talk to their devices and
Exactly.
seamlessly navigate the internet.
It could really break down those barriers
Yeah.
that have existed for so long.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a powerful vision.
It really highlights like the potential of this technology.
Yeah.
But of course, with any new technology, there are also challenges and risks to think about.
Right.
Well, one that comes to mind is bias.
Yeah.
Like, if these AI systems are trained on data that reflects existing societal biases,
Right.
could they end up like perpetuating those biases?
It's a crucial point.
Yeah.
And it's something that developers and researchers are very aware of. It's essential to make sure that these systems are trained on diverse and representative data sets,
Yeah.
and that they're designed with ways to, like, detect and mitigate bias.
So transparency and accountability are going to be really important.
Absolutely. We need to build trust in these systems
Right.
and ensure that they're used fairly and ethically.
It sounds like there's a lot of work to be done,
Yeah.
but it's good to know that people are thinking about these things.
Right.
And speaking of challenges, one we haven't really touched on is the impact on content creation.
Oh, yeah.
Like if SEO becomes less relevant in this new world of conversational search,
Right.
how do creators get their stuff discovered?
That's a great question. And it's likely that we'll see a shift away from just focusing on keywords to
Right.
creating high-quality, engaging content
Right.
that provides real value.
So instead of trying to game the system with keywords,
Right.
it's about creating something that genuinely connects with an audience.
Exactly. Storytelling authenticity.
Right.
The ability to connect with an audience on a deeper level.
It's like a return to the fundamentals in a way.
It is.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
It's a really exciting time.
It feels like we're on the cusp of something huge.
We are.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
Yeah, it has.
We've covered a lot of ground today,
A lot.
from the specifics of OpenAI's update to the broader implications for the future of the internet.
Yeah, and I think the takeaway is that we're on the verge of a major transformation.
Right.
And it's up to all of us to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay critical.
Yes, absolutely. This has been so insightful. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey.
Thanks for having me.
And to all our listeners out there, we hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought and maybe inspired you to explore the world of conversational search for yourselves.
Go out there and experiment.
Yeah, dive in and see what it's all about.
Have those conversations, ask the questions.
And as always, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of technology.